Hola mis amores, Johnny here, and today I wanted to do like a quick get ready with me, just talking about some things that have been in my head recently and just do my makeup while I do that. Specifically after moving into my new place, I feel like there's a lot of little situations and I feel like there's a lot of things that they have changed in my life, but also that I have kind of like learned how to readapt them into my own routine. And I feel like this is something helpful for a lot of people that are going through change in their life. I think that we all need to realize that, first of all, change is inevitable. I cannot even say that word. But basically, you know that it's just, change is something that happens to all of us, and that the best way for us to adapt is to learn how to grow from it and learn to accept change into your life and kind of like apply that into you, you know? So because of this, I've been going through a lot of changes right now recently, and I feel like a lot of the things that has happened in my life has led me to learn more about myself and learn more about how to love myself in a way as well. So this is something that I feel like it could also help somebody who is watching out there. So I've been using this primer a lot and I honestly love it. This is the makeup primer, the Banana Bright Face Primer by Ole Henriksen. I use a lot of these. I love it. I love the texture. I love the smell. It smells like bananas. And it really helps like maintain my makeup throughout the whole day. I feel like it's always good to, you know, if y'all seen my videos, you know that I love skincare beyond makeup as well. This thing stains my beer. Like, what the fuck? It looks like... You know what? I'm not gonna say what it looks like. First, I'm gonna use my Born This Way Multi-Sculpting Concealer. This is the Too Faced Born This Way Concealer. I honestly love this concealer. And I kind of use it as a foundation, to be honest. So you're gonna see where I apply it. I don't apply it right under my eyes because I go with a lighter foundation in there. So this concept of change, you know, I feel like change is something that like in reality a lot of people like deal with, but I feel like we're not really taught on school how to accept and adapt to change in different ways that it just makes us all kind of like be an asshole at some point in our life. Just because we don't really know how to accept change in a way. Before I blend this out, I actually go in with my Good Apple foundation. This is in the color Light 06. It's just really light. And that's why I just apply her right here. But I feel like it gives me like a really good mix of textures in between the concealer and this, right? To kind of like brighten and highlight all of that area. And then I go with my sponge and I blend everything. So honestly, okay, so change is something that I feel like a lot of people, we all deal with it on a daily basis, but like I said, on school, we're not really taught on how to really like internalize change and kind of like take the positive aspects of change for yourself. So this is something that I feel like a lot of us we struggle with when we are going through life. And if you think about it, this past year, it has made that all of us had to go through a process of readjusting and reshaping the way that our life were. Now that we got to a point now, it's been like over a year and there's still a lot of stuff going on because of COVID. So there's still a lot of change happening frequently in our lives, you know. There's still... Not all of the businesses are open right now. Not everything is like perfectly back to normal. And there's a lot of people, including me, who are still struggling with change and adapted to change. One of the things that I personally do with it is kind of take notes. And I know this might come off as like too methodical and too, I don't know, weird in a way, but like that's the way that my brain works. I love to take notes and like write down things sometimes that I think that they have value to me, and just kind of like chronologically realizing what are the things that are affecting my life. So, for example, something that I did recently when I just moved in, I was completely new to all of this like experience of living alone in the city of Miami and just going through life in this period of time alone, you know, as I was in a relationship before and I was so used to being in that mentality that it's just everything hits different now. And that's when I realized, you know, there's a lot of things that are like influencing the change in my life right now. If I find a way to kind of like not code that, but like to kind of find like a title for each of these things and write it down on paper, I feel like that's something that has really helped me visualize more what are the things that I need to work on or that I need to be paying attention to. So for example, something that I did as soon as I moved in March 1st, and as soon as I moved in, I started taking notes of things that I was not expecting in my life. For example, I wasn't like, I didn't have in my, of course I had the idea of like, you know, me living alone, and of course that means that I'm gonna have to like take care of myself and take care of like my body, the way that I eat and all of that by myself, and be more conscious about that. But of course that didn't really hit until like, oh, it was like the second week of me being here in my new place, and like, oh, I had to like not only learn, but I have to readapt my own routine in order to make that new step or new change into my life fit better. So this is why I was referring earlier to writing down the things that change or like that are changing for you, so you can literally see it on a piece of paper and make a plan of action from that. I'm gonna be taking this Luxie brush that I love. This is a small precision brush, and it's not really small, it's actually thick. But it's angled, and I love it to set my under eyes. And I'm gonna be taking my Fenty Beauty powder, and this is what I do. I just literally put it right under my eyes. Something else that I think it's really important for me to mention in here is therapy. Yay, therapy. So honestly, therapy for me has been another way for me to kind of like identify those things that I'm dealing with at the moment. For example, like kind of like what I said earlier about like you writing down like what are the things that are bothering you right now, literally just putting them on paper, it helps you visualize it better. The same way therapy works for me, at least when I'm going to my therapist and talking to them and telling them like, hey, this is how I'm feeling, this is what I'm like going through right now, they always find the best way to make me realize what are the topics that I'm talking about, and kind of like, I feel like at the end of the session they give me like a recap of everything that I talked about, and that's like the moment of like, oh, these are like the identity, or like having somebody from the outside identified what are those things that you're dealing with. I think that it's in a way really helpful. Like I honestly don't really know what is it that you guys are going through, but like the reality of it is that we all go through different things in life, and change is something that it just happens. So I just realized I did my whole base and I forgot to film it. Sorry. But for my eyeshadows, I'm gonna be using the Ayana palette for Natasha Denona. This is a gorgeous 5 shadow pans. It includes mattes and metallics, and I think it's just a beautiful, high quality eyeshadow palette. I'm gonna be taking the Jubilee palette from Natasha Denona, and in this shade that we have right here, this is called Vintage Taupe. Vintage Taupe. And I'm gonna take that beautiful color, and this is gonna go just in the inner corner. I'm gonna apply my Glamnetic lashes. This is in the style Lavish. I love how wispy these are. Look how gorgeous. And as you all know, Glamnetics are magnetic lashes, so they come with their own liner that you can use to just draw the line and then stack them on. And now to finish this, I'm just gonna use one of my favorite glosses. This is the Alamar Divina. It's like a brown chocolate. I love it. Period. I'm gonna go change really quickly and I'll be right back. And that's it for this episode. As I said at the beginning of this episode, change is inevitable, and the best thing that we can do is learn how we cope and how we react to it. So I hope that you took one or two things out of this video, and If you like it, please leave me a comment down below and leave a thumbs up. That would mean a lot to me. And I'll see you in the next one, mis amores. Bye.